slow rise, but it works really well to hold a gigantic monitor. Welcome everybody to the community. Nice to see everybody again. Got a growing crew here. Hopefully people see the announcement that we started. Will come on and join us. A lot of familiar faces, some new faces too, and some old faces that for old people, not old, some people I haven't seen in a bit. Maybe I just missed you, like Sinister Grin. I think I've seen you in the past. But welcome back, Grumpy DK. You're always here, I think, right? One Odd Gent. Blue Wolf. Hello. General Kaizen. That's a new picture, isn't it? I think. Oh, there's Billy Black Sox. I see you, man, with them weird eyes. Dark Magic. Nice. Best Waifu. Welcome back. One Curly Doc. Bureau Durpin. Hello, Off-Grid Rancher. Yeah, I joined a little bit late, so won't be able to say hello to as many people. And
good morning, everyone. Just captured them all.
Yes. It's good. I like seeing everybody's, all the people that come back and, associating a PFP or an icon with a name.
Totally.
All of you people with the generic Discord icon, when you look at the full mix of everybody, you guys really stand out. A lot of red Discord icons in here today. Crypto Cowboy. Maybe these are alt accounts, secret identities. Turk RTS Gamer with runes. I remember that. You shared that a couple weeks ago. Well, do we have everybody on stage that's going to be on stage today? Was Resource going to join us?
I thought she was, but she might not.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's just do a quick Slack.
Oh, she said she'd be right here.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. So let's just give it a beat. Keep saying hello to everybody. Hello, Moon Maniac, Baldus, the Ohm in crypto, Chocolat, Kel, Node Boy. Node Boy. Hello. Cool name. Willow, I see you here. Old, yes, not old age, just long tenured community members. How's that? I was never, as Sinister Grin says, I was never gone. You merely turned your eyes away from me. Oh, sorry. There's so many people on here. Makanaki. White beards, greeting hurts. Mal, of course, shows up with his emperor icon. Well, one of the things you guys, I don't know, you guys, everybody in the community has seen is that it always makes me laugh every time I'm on Discord and I don't know, somebody mentions Mal, maybe he's offline sleeping. I actually don't know if Mal ever really sleeps. And then he pops up with that emperor picture or GIF or whatever. It just makes me crack up every single time.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not even sure what that is from. That is clearly a movie that I've not seen. I feel like it's probably Star Trek or Star Wars.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, everybody.
That's great, Michelle. No, I love it.
It's definitely not Harry Potter.
Oh, it's just the perfect way to stab a knife through the heart of both communities.
I'm really sorry.
Oh, I had a visceral reaction. Holy cow. I love it. That's perfect.
What is it from? I honestly don't know. That's Spock? That's not Spock.
Oh my god.
Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh my goodness.
The Dark Lord, Michelle.
Sure.
Oh,
I guess
oh,
I'll
man,
have
I
to
had
do
to-
some research.
I had to mute myself after that. Oh my goodness. I love it. I think that's maybe just it's a perfect time to start AMA officially. Wow. So welcome everybody. What is it? October 28th. Early morning on Friday here for some people, late nights, I guess, in other places around the world. But thanks for joining us. We've got some interesting information. I know some people are particularly interested in the question that I asked yesterday. So we'll cover that. But we also have some, of course, as always, the teams have been working hard and diligently in both TSL and TSF. So we got some good news to share on those things as well. But Michelle, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, let's talk about what happened this week in the Townstar Live game, like we usually do right when we start. We got a competition next week. It's going to be those stacked boxes that I know everyone is so excited to try. It's a party box, a fabric box, and a supply box, all stacked up together into a nice little tower. The ingredients for the supply box are the 2 ceramic bowls, 2 wax, and a wooden box. I think that's the only one we haven't done yet. Everyone should have already made a fabric box and a party box. This is again the last of the box metas. We put a poll in the announcements to see what you guys were interested in making for our next competition. So definitely vote. I haven't checked this morning. Last I checked, I think Jet Fuel was winning. If you don't like Jet Fuel, go vote for something else. I've got some updates on our production monitor, unless Resource wants to take them.
Absolutely. We're super excited. As promised, we are going to be releasing our production monitor come Monday. It looks great. It's a little bit different than what we initially had come up with, which was the dark theme. We reskinned it to make it look more true to our Townstar game and to our family here. It looks great. We've got decimals and all kinds of stuff that was not in the original mock-up. I think we've got at least an image or a video of it actually in game. It is in QA as we speak, and it's looking great, and we're super excited about it. And we hope you all love it.
Did you say we have a video of that or a picture?
Yeah, I'll get it posted here in a second. Let me download it from Slack. I did have one question for the community about the production monitor. We can code it so that it either the numbers go up when things are gathered by the worker from like the crop or something, or we can code it so that the numbers go up when something reaches storage, which I believe is the way most of the third-party ones that people use work. Was there any specific direction that you all in the community would prefer, one way or the other? Storage. That's what we figured was storage, because if it is the other way, then if something gets like tossed on the ground, it would still count. Cool. Let me get that video for everybody.
We've got 4 different columns, right? So we've got the left one is storage, and then the right one is gathered in there presently.
It's coming in the chat right now.
People are talking about storage. I think, in case, I think somebody had said in case it gets thrown on the ground. Definitely storage is winning out in the discussion group.
Dark Magic, I don't believe that there is any type of dragging or rearranging of any of the things on the list currently. We can definitely look into that for the future, but for now, it doesn't have that in this first phase.
I love that little video. How do you guys like the fall theme? Yeah? I heard a lot of notes that people love it. Fall tunes, thanks, Ben. Fall tunes very nice. Keep both. Fire. I did hear somebody, I can't remember who it was, expressed an opinion last night, the fall theme. They liked it better actually than the winter theme from last year. I thought it was just better well done. Easy on the eyes, I think, was the quote. Oh, Joe Bubbles, fall theme is ugly. Hard to read.
When
You killed
winter
my
theme.
grass. When? Too much pristine snow. Look, there's Jimmy 211. Fall is way better than winter. Nice answer, Resource. Winter.
That's when you can expect the winter theme is in winter.
So you guys are excited? We've been talking about production monitor for a while, right? We announced it even probably a little bit earlier that than we normally do in terms of features, but that's pretty cool, right? It's in testing, Resource. What does that mean? It's in testing. Is that like have we got 3 more weeks of testing to do, or?
No, that means we've been banging on this for probably a good month, I would say. Trying to get this into the game for everyone who requested it. And by it's in QA, I mean that we have a final release candidate product that we are feeling comfortable with. We're feeling good about the numbers. We're feeling good about the coding, the logic, the UI, and we've shipped it to QA to for that feedback to make sure that their ideas of what looks good and feels good and operates well within the game does. And I think we're feeling pretty good about it as well. So I believe that we're shipping it on Monday. It's going to be great.
Sweet. Good news. Good news. Does it need to be a pop-up? I've seen it. It's just overlays in the past.
If you, I'm sorry, SageMaker. I hope you don't mind me taking that. It's.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
It's a drop down that comes down from where I don't know if you remember, but on the HUD on the top left, it would have a coming soon, and then your money. We move the money up, remove the coming soon. The production monitor drops down there, and you can leave that up as long as you like, or you can remove it if you would like to see more of the game. So you're not committed to having it up all the time if you choose not to, but you certainly can.
Cool. Well, you guys will get to see how well it does. And please, when it comes out, of course, send feedback. But I think production monitor is one of those things. I would just call it out for a second. The team did a great job on it. It's not as easy as it all seems. And a couple of reasons for it. Community wanted it, needed it. It also helps eliminate the need for third-party scripts in that situation. And it's one of the things that came up from just listening to the community. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because part of this other conversation we're going to have a little bit later in the AMA this morning. What's next, Michelle? Where do we go from here?
I think Volcron's taking over next, letting us know about the Townstar Forever and Godot and how that's all going.
Cool.
All right. I'm unmuted successfully, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I've got like 3 hardware buttons over here. Okay, so no video this week. Some of our more visual progress, I'll go over that. And then I wanted to talk about some of the services and stuff that are so important to a live multiplayer game.
Atomic's already saying, Tom Holland, I love you.
Well, for visuals, I actually posted a screenshot last night in the chat talking about our road and pond merging. So I was really fond of the Scream face, but there's several edge cases. Pun. There's several edge cases on the roads that are all accounted for now, and destruction and recreation, buildings getting rotated nearby and all that fun stuff. The remove feature is in, not a feature that remove. Yeah, you know what I mean. The trade UI is fixed. We're fetching the coin balance from Gala proper, and there were a lot of little NFT fixes that probably. I think the only video I made with the NFT had the Haunted Mansion, so I don't know if anybody noticed it. But there were some weird little collars here and there that just didn't look right. So that's kind of the visual stuff that I'm going to stick into a video next week. But as far as the bulk of the non-visual changes this week, I wanted to talk to you guys kind of about like how important obviously community is. There's 6 of us, not just joining this call, but like preparing for it and going through the questions people ask and all that. So it is super important, but also it's important on the dev side. For example, when people have questions about their town or their inventory, or there's a bug, or any kind of communication, we have to have ways to look at that from a data side. So this week, we put a fair amount of work into porting over one of our tools from Townstar Live, making it better, cleaning it up, providing all the functionality you can imagine, like inspecting people's towns, looking for any kind of suspicious activity, nefarious actors, stuff like that. And almost leaked something there, but I won't talk. So one of the sub menus does a thing, and then also, one thing people kind of take for granted in multiplayer games is just that the servers and everything are reliable. I play some pretty competitive shooters, and anytime you lose in those games, of course, beyond blaming your keyboard and mouse, you have to blame the network or the servers, right? Couldn't be your skill. So what we want to do to prevent people from blaming our servers is, making them as rock solid and awesome as possible. And part of that involves monitoring, as you would imagine. So a fair amount of work went into monitoring, like how's the server's hard drives doing, or network I/O, or even to the point of, okay, now I'm going to do this thing in the game. How did that affect, the database, or did that cause any sort of spike on the server side? So that's great. One way you could think about it is, as we increase the number of players on the game, we want to avoid a hug of death kind of situation, and we want to see that coming, where like everybody's playing it and it's awesome and we're so happy, but there's so much learning out there. It's better to be ready for that than to just be like, oh, whoops.
Wait, what's the hug of death? I've never heard that before. What's the hug of death?
Oh, well, they used to call it getting slash dotted. So there, the old website Slashdot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd post an article up there that's like, I don't know, alligators have gained telepathy, and there'd be a link to some website run by some poor guy, just his one server. Now you have 70,000 people hitting his web server all at once, and it knocks the server over, and nobody can access it. Yeah, so that's the hug of death.
Okay,
and people just
love
it too much.
Okay.
Yeah, and so along with that, dashboards and all sorts of nerdy stuff for us to see this side as we test out different features. We want to see, like, okay, what's it like now when we simulate 100 players or 50 players or however many? So that's kind of cool on the reliability side of things. And then on the security side of things, there were some really interesting changes that went in this week. Nobody likes a cheater. We all want to, know that we're playing a fair game. And sometimes the cheaters aren't necessarily just the players, right? Like if you look at it, just try putting a service out there on the web anywhere and watch the logs. Somebody's going to try to wreck you, right? So some of the, I don't want to say exactly what we did, but there were some really cool developments to keep our code safe, to keep our servers safe. Things like, I could probably say this. You guys would expect this. If you accidentally committed some code that had vulnerabilities in it, you didn't realize it, but you did. There was a thing introduced this week by our security team that will just stop the deployment from going live entirely. And I don't want to get into the voodoo on that, but it's super cool. And person who wrote it gets notified. I get notified, and yeah, it's really high tech stuff. And then we're starting. Oh, sorry.
Volkan, I was just going to jump in there. That's one thing a lot of people don't think about when thinking about game development, right? They're like, we know in this community is like, what's the economy? When's this feature coming? What about the meta? And what about the NFT? But a lot of people just don't get how hardcore some of that back end work that you're describing is, and how much time it takes up, right? It's a pretty serious business. Yeah. So
yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, it's super interesting, and our team here is amazing. As you can imagine, any any crypto company you would hope would do it. But crypto plus gaming, you've got like the most interesting people in the world trying to hit your servers. And yeah, so a lot of talent here for that. And then some of the fun stuff we do also is of course professional penetration testing, which means try to break it, try to get in and do things, be a bad guy, and we do that in a controlled environment. And actually, one of the little parties we have, I call it a party. Maybe the devs don't think it's a party, but we have here is a let's break it get together. So we'll spend time just playing the game and being like, okay, let's find ways to exploit this feature. And yeah, so those are fun too. And that's kind of the update on our backend and services and a few of the features for the last week.
Oh, thank you. Did we, just to jump back there, did we post that? Oh, we did post a video on production line. Never mind. I'm reading the list of script that we have here, everybody. So Michelle, what's next?
I believe what we have next is, I don't even have my Notion doc open anymore. We're either talking about all of that town stuff that happened yesterday in the chat, or
either that or
Gleam Winners, I think, but I've lost my page.
well, while you're finding a page, why don't we jump into the all of the controversy or all of the energy that was generated yesterday when I asked some people about economy.
I'm
and earnings.
confused.
All the fun.
All the
What are we talking
insanity.
about?
Let me jump in and get first. Let me give you a bit of context. 2 bits of context. The first context is, as we've been developing Townstar Forever, as we've been working on the white paper for it, and the economy, getting it through legal, and all of those things, we've actually learned a bunch of new thoughts, new theories, new thinking. And at that, when you kind of look at that, and so we have 2 products. We have Townstar Forever. All of that thinking has been going into that. And then we have Townstar Live, which is out there. So Mysterious Peanut and I yesterday were just musing on, hey, with some of this new thinking and those new theories, should we try to apply some of it back into Townstar Live? And what would that mean? How long would that dev take? Because we have a limited number of resources, dev people on the team, and so we're kind of musing on that. And let me just pause there for a minute and talk about a process. So as we're musing, it's like we don't know. We could go A, we could go B. Where do we look for answers? And we came up to the community, right? Now the quick pause and aside that I want to do is going to help give context to something that comes later. Back when we were first starting to make Cityville for Zynga, right? It was a city builder, city sim, and we're getting the team and I were getting a lot of input that you need to have traffic, you need to have oil derricks for energy, you need to have power grids, and trading where someone would make rebar, the other person would make cement, and someone else would make asphalt. You all trade together and make roads. And it was just looking at this and thinking about, this doesn't seem right. It's not for our target audience, and really, seriously, it just felt very heavy and industrial. And so I kind of took that in stride. But then I thought, let me go find some people in our company who aren't game makers. This group had to be in HR and recruiting. And I went to ask them and I said, hey, we're making this city game. When you think about city, what do you think about? And the answers were amazing, and I love them so much because they were, like, well, when I think about a city, I think about going out and meeting friends. I'm thinking about going out to dinner, seeing shows. I think about going shopping. I think about going dancing. And if you can hear that list of things there that I just described from this group, mostly women, but some men in the group as well, they were describing a radically different game than rebar, cement, and asphalt, traffic, power grids, oil derricks, right? And so I listened to them. That's the city game we made, and it became very, very successful. Now, I could have gone to that group and say, do you like the idea of power grids in your city? And they would have said no, and that's all I've been left with, right? Instead, I went there with an open-ended question, and we got a lot of insights and a lot of information. Okay, so now fast forward to yesterday. where, as I said, Mysterious Peanut and I were sitting here talking, and we said, well, why don't we just ask the community what they think, what their thoughts on economy is, what's their thoughts on about earning, and if we had some ideas about how maybe turning it on a little bit earlier than waiting for Townstar Forever, what do people think? And boom, right? It was amazing. You guys saw it. It kind of felt like everybody was in there, jumping in. There was a lot of response, and when I looked at it, there was kind of three categories, or maybe four categories of responses that everybody gave. One is, yes, do it now. We have to do it right away. And then another group was, please wait till it really works. We want to make sure that this lasts a long time. Another group was, hey, we need more data. We can't answer any questions until we have all the data. And then the last group was kind of a big amount about saltiness and indignation and accusations, like, how dare you come in here and ask us this question? Or, you're just doing this to trick us, or you're just doing to kind of, some nefarious reason, to use Volcron's word there. So there was nothing nefarious about it, really. We're thinking of some of the learning that we could apply to TSL that we picked up in the TSF work. We were thinking, what, we could guess at doing this and spend these dev resources, but before we do this, let's find out what the community thinks and what they want. So that's what yesterday was all about. And so for everybody who's kind of jumping in there going like, there's some trickiness or some ulterior motive, nope. It was simple and as plain as we're thinking some thoughts. What do you guys think? That's all it was about. Does that make sense to everybody? Hopefully. Let me know if what all I just said. Yeah, Billy Black Sox, we need the white paper. We're not talking about, let's break something down here. We're not talking about Townstar Forever. We're talking about Townstar Live, right? So just to be clear. Anyways, does that make sense to everybody in the community? And, Mysterious Peanut, do you want to add any more context to that?
No, I think that's it, and I think that's one of the things. People are like, we need more information, which is true. We have information coming for, Townstar on Godot and a new economy, and what that white paper will be and when it will come. And I'll talk a little bit about that. But that's kind of separate, which is this conversation was really around how does the community react to us releasing, earning again early, just as you were talking about. And we got a whole bunch of information, and it was really fun to watch. I know it's fun too, because there's just so much passion in this community, and I think that's a really great thing. It's really clear that people do care, and it's a fun place to work. So putting all the info and whatnot aside, starting there is really cool.
Yeah, let me jump in, and there's some questions. So, here's a good one. Repti says, hey, if the peanut weren't so mysterious, we wouldn't be so salty. I'm not sure in that. I've seen a lot of salt no matter what.
That's why we gave the salty maize piece, exactly.
But hey, Dubstep, I want to jump in what you said. Is it going to be different is this two different things? Townstar Live and what we're just talking about in terms of turning on earnings here. Yeah, they're two different things. And the macro idea, which we don't have it all worked out yet, guys. But at least we kind of try to figure it out. Ask the question before we jumped into a lot of full development, is turning on earning in Townstar Live in a limited way, a careful way, to help us, see if these new theories and things that we're thinking about actually work. And when I say if they work, we can do the modeling on paper all we want, but nothing like coming out for the community and see actually how players interact with it. I think Mike Tyson said a quote, something like, everybody has a plan until they're punched in the face, right? Or no battle plan survives contact with the enemy is another one that I've heard before. So this is all about how can we, how do we test some new ideas here? So yes, a dubstep, it is different. Townstar Forever and this test is different.
And one thing that's really important to touch on too is this doesn't backtrack on anything we've said. So one of the things we talked a bit about last week was that we won't ever increase the supply of town out there. So this wouldn't go against that, right? We would never give out more town than we're taking in. So it's important to note that just because I think when we open up these things, it's like, oh, you're going to turn town earning back on, and everybody assumes maybe, oh, it's going to be exactly the way it was before. No, that's not the case. The case is that we're going to make sure that when we do turn these things on, it's in a really healthy way that supports just a healthy Townstar economy. So want to call that out as well.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. That's a good way to say it. Let's see.
Yeah,
so
do we want to
that's
talk about? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's the nature of it. So we have some ideas. We're thinking about testing it. Super appreciate all the people's responses, all their energy. I mean, we got to see people who really are interested in the gameplay and the longevity of the game. We got to see people who are just snarky and will always be snarky, and then we got to see some people who are just mostly interested in earnings alone. And what our focus on as a team is fun and gameplay, making a good, healthy economy so that everybody can enjoy the game. So, so that's it. Now, unfortunately, it seems like Discord has choked on me, and I can't scroll down to see people's questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off of it, restart it, then come back in. But, Mysterious Peanut, maybe it's now time to talk about TSF tokenomics.
Yeah, I can talk about that a bit. So we've gotten a couple questions. The obvious one is always when. But again, when we're talking about the economy white paper, this is really the new and improved economy. We're going to work really hard to make sure that Townstar on Godot has a healthy economy. What we saw before was this giant fire hose, and while it kind of felt cool for a little bit, it really did not lead to a healthy economy for Townstar. We learned a lot from that experience, and we're not going to repeat that. But yeah, so when we are working on a version right now, we're finalizing a draft. Obviously, all these things are not things where we just finish and we throw it out there. We go through a bunch of reviews, whether or not that's with the product team, the design team, the game teams, just making sure that it's going to be fun, and the legal team, making sure that we have all of our I's dotted and T's crossed. So we're planning on releasing a version of that to you sometime in November. So definitely stay tuned for that later this month, or I guess next month. It's still October. We haven't hit Halloween yet. So what else is there? So what have we been doing in terms of white paper and tokenomics? What might you find interesting? So it's kind of fun to talk about how something like this gets built. So there's two parts. One is an understanding of the game. So we need a model that really understands the game, all of the different inputs and outputs, and how we build a model that talks about that in a way that really promotes the game and doesn't get away from the game and get away from the fun. And with that, there's also a more mathy component, which is creating more of a model. So we can see, if we change to different types of distributions, how certain things exist in the ecosystem, we can model that out ahead of time, and we can come up with all these different scenarios and figure out which one's going to be healthiest for the economy. So it's really fun is working with the economists on the team, seeing these different scenario models, and being able to talk about things that might occur ahead of them actually occurring, so that we can put a lot of thought up front, so there are no surprises. And I see a lot about a test net. And this is kind of what this is. So I've worked on a bunch of different games, and there's always this concept of testing things, which we typically do with scenario modeling, because once you get it out there, there are always going to be surprises. And in this case, there's not really much need for a test net, or there's no need as far as I see. So some other questions I've seen. How will it work? Again, we're going to be starting with a deflationary economy. And as we said, I just want to repeat this again. We want to make sure that the town in circulation is more in line with the town that we need to play the game. So there's never going to be more supply of town out there than we currently have out there. So pretty big shift from a couple weeks ago. And then a couple other things. Town points, something I've seen in the chat a bit. Will there be town points? Yes, town points will still be a thing that will earn a portion of the distribution. we have a lot of earning NFTs that earn you town points. That's not going to go away. As we've talked about, we'll make sure that there's healthy that what's in the game makes sense. But yeah, town points is definitely still going to be a thing, and it will definitely be one of the ways that you earn in the distribution. Does the number 28 mean something? Sometimes these questions I feel so lost. Sorry, y'all. And then one other part of the puzzle, town power and Gala power. So hey, good job, thick MK7. That was exactly what I was just about to say. So powers. So what's interesting is in my personal opinion, powers were brought into the game to kind of be a little bit of a band-aid. They're interesting, like Gala power, holding Gala, holding town, and having that change how you can play, how you can earn. They're kind of cool ideas, but I don't think that they were implemented perfectly. They kind of felt like a little bit like band-aid solutions. So just like everything in the economy, powers are included in this. How do we make sure that it's serving the future of the game and a healthy Townstar economy? So don't have a finalized plan of what we're going to do with them, but just know that we're looking at those things, making sure that we improve them if they need to be improved, keep them if they're working great, or get rid of them if they're, just really don't fit in this new system. So kind of that's going to be the answer that we have for all of these things, which is, if it seems like something we should be taking a look at, yes, we are definitely taking a look at it very seriously.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you. You're back.
Good. Sadly, I had to reboot. And then, of course, I loaded Discord and it says, oh, here's some updates. I want to add on to what you were just saying. I know. I want to add on a little bit what you're saying. So Gala Power, Town Power, it's almost been a year since those were introduced. Maybe a little less than a year. And so we've talked about this before, how internal to Gala, we've got multiple teams, we've got economists, we've got everybody thinking about tokenomics and how this all works. And definitely all of our thinking has evolved. The economy structures are different than they were before. So sometimes when we look at things like that, we go, are we carrying them forward because of tradition, or do they really matter? And everything we're doing on Townstar, as we're moving it over to Godot, everything we're doing is looking back at each one of those previous decisions and say, does it make does it make sense to carry it forward? Okay. And so, yeah, and we were just having discussions yesterday, as a matter of fact, on the powers.
Yeah, and there's an interesting question here. Will there be a community discussion on the white paper, or what's written is written? One of the things that I've seen at Gala is that what's written is not usually what's written. Like, there's always discussion. We've seen some things where we've released something we're really excited about, and the community is so stoked and so happy. And that tends to be a lot of time. Sometimes we release something and we're like, oh, there was a piece of that didn't go well. There's always room to revisit and make sure that what we've released actually really does make sense. So not only that, but there are times in here, we're chatting, we're using the input that you all have in this Discord to actually kind of influence our thinking around some of these things as well. So some of the things that we're talking about and thinking about, you all have given input already and just maybe haven't realized it, which is kind of fun. That's why we love having you here, chatting, talking, and kind of communicating with us as things are getting built, instead of we just put one finalized game out there with one finalized strategy, and that's what it is, and that's what you get. And if you don't like it, well, too bad. No, we're in here talking with you and making sure that it, we're hearing from you all, our awesome player base.
So jump back since I missed. Did you guys see any other questions we should address on the earning testing we're thinking about doing? Anything we should cover on the economy stuff before we move forward? Read the best. Cheat codes for upcoming nightmare.
Standard one. Is my mic working? Sometimes it seems to be.
Yep.
Okay. I just seen the one around everything, with its old town point NFTs retain. I believe we've already answered that on a few AMAs, but we can obviously cover it again.
Yeah, so standard answer going forward, Townstar, as we move everything over to Godot, do what we said. We'll look at every single NFT, how it functions, how it works, and make sure that it makes sense in terms of creating a healthy long-term economy for the future. And people are like, whoa, wait a minute, what does that mean? Can you get specific and nail stuff down? When we, just like everything else, when we have the exact answers, we'll share them. But speculating ahead of time, kind of like as we saw yesterday, draws a lot of salt and angst and upsetness. So we'll keep doing the thing that we're doing. When we have the answers, we'll share it. We have the specific exact answers, we'll share it. Maybe is it time to move on to the next step? Oh, wait a minute.
So.
MK7. Thick MK7. We're not going to create a new TSF coin. It'll still be Town. Town is the coin.
Yeah, don't scare me with that. Too many coins.
No new features, no new variables. Yeah. Well, actually,
no
Thick,
overcomplicating a good thing.
I was going to say, Thick, what would you? How about if we say yes and then spend another year? I don't think so, right? You don't want to do that. Yeah, Billy Blackstocks, we are on the same page. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on. We got a few more fun agenda items left, right, Michelle?
Looks like we may have lost Michelle.
Yes, no, I'm here. Sorry, I was in the chat.
Okay.
Let's see. I think that we answered all of the questions that I did have. Most of the questions that I had were economy questions based on yesterday's conversation, so I'm pretty sure we went through all of those. If anyone does have any other questions, feel free to throw them in the chat.
There was one question from a mixed bag of nuts. What happened with the credit card purchasing issue? If you guys remember earlier in the week, you would purchase something with a credit card and suddenly you would get a bunch of duplicates of that NFT once it went through. It's just a system glitch. It actually had nothing to do with the credit card system or Townstar, but it was some other part of the interactions that we had with the Gala platform. That's all fixed up. Everything should be sorted. We double checked and triple checked. Nobody got charged multiple times. And then, of course, we went and cleaned up all the dupes out of everyone's treasure chest. So that's fully done and resolved. And thanks everybody for your patience on that. Sometimes even with all of our best efforts, our code's clean, but some other piece of the big interconnected world glitches.
And not only that, I love the chat was, sometimes there are going to be issues that pop up. In this case, it was so indirectly related to the team, but coming in the chat, talking to you all about it and just seeing the humor that you all had and the positivity around it was really refreshing. So thanks for that. I had fun chatting with y'all.
Yes, I do think a mysterious peanut is what you get from Mixed Bag of Nuts.
Yeah, it might be long lost cousins, something like that.
So go ahead, Michelle.
I think that we're moving on to meta leaks.
Yes, I think most of it's leaked, to be honest. But I do know everyone's been asking around the eggs. I put eggs at 5k, not 10k. So half as boosted as they were. So still pretty boosted. Pumpkins are still boosted as they are. There's no wood that's going on all the crops. All the wood that still remains off is off. It's one party box, one fabric box, and one supply box. Already been told by Hello World, apparently it should have been more supply boxes. Apparently not hard enough. Even though this is the big bad boss meta, so that's interesting to see people making comments like so. I do know Todd has a leak that he should be posting any second now about the reward, as we're all very keen to know what you're going to be earning. So Todd's went and gone through the effort to make us a great video. Whenever that probably loads Discord.
Ooh, I like that. A sneak leak.
There we go. So it's the guided blades. It's for the lumber mill. Now, this ghost card is slightly different than normal ghost cards. So when it comes to lumber, the craft, each rarity will be a 1 second, a sort of difference. So common being 1 and ancient being 6 in terms of seconds. Whereas the other crafts that go into the lumber mill will base off the standard percentage that the ghost card gives. So it's perfect for the lumber dubstep. So that's 1 second increase per rarity on the lumber craft, and then the ghost card will function as a percentage for the other crafts. But Farmer Michelle will have that in a post anyway, which will explain that a little bit more clearly. But it's a nice kind of double utility there from this lumber mill ghost card. So I hope everyone enjoys that. Looks like Willow said he needs to read that post. I can explain again. So if you apply the lumber mill ghost card, the lumber craft, when you're crafting lumber, the common would take 1 second off the time, whereas an ancient would knock 6 seconds off the time. So it goes up in a second per rarity. But when it comes to oak barrels and wooden box, that will work as a percentage timer. So like a normal ghost card would. So the other two crafts are percentage and lumber is seconds. I don't think there's any more leaks around that. I think we could probably move on to what's coming in the store. I imagine Top Boy will probably appear just as I said it. Perfect.
You've summoned me again. We've for next Monday we got some quite special. I'm personally very excited about it. You guys are used to seeing the windmill in the game. We wanted to make that a little spooky, theme it around Halloween. It's got some dope utility that Mal's gonna touch on a little bit, but I'm sure you guys are curious about the pricing and the supply. So in the store, you're gonna see 2,000 store supply. The rarity is rare, and we've priced it at $90. So that'll be purchased with town and with credit cards. And there's not going to be any duplicates this time. Everything is going to go smoothly. We've tested it. We feel confident about that. That's $90 for the spooky windmill. I think I may have seen that being leaked somewhere in Discord, but if it hasn't, because we did mint it a little while ago, I can share a nice little leak on that as well. Mal, you want to jump into the utility on that?
Yeah. So the spooky windmill. 20% wage reduction as a standard we've been doing for the rares. But the nice part about this spooky windmill is that it's haunted. So the miller, poor guy, is now spooked and walks quite quickly. 2 speed faster than a normal miller. So he's pretty nervous at all times, so he gets a hustle on. So you'll have a very quick miller storming around, grabbing goods, dropping goods off. And maybe try and calm his nerves down because he is spooked. And expect some lore around that soon.
One other thing regarding the items in store. You guys probably see that there's a small limited supply of the Epic Zone 1 still available. That will only be available for a very limited time. Whatever is not sold out by the end of next week, which falls on November 7th, we are planning on burning that and reducing the full collection of all 4 maze pieces to whatever amount is left at that point. So if you've been on the fence and thinking about getting it, I would say this is your chance. It's not going to last forever.
And I'm just going to clarify on the utility speed there. Maybe it sounded like I said double. It's 2 more speed. So it's a 2 speed increase, as in our units in the game go from sort of 1 to 14. So this has gone to a 9 now. So he is much quicker than a normal miller. Not double speed, just to be very clear.
That is it for everything sales. Over to you, Michelle.
All I have left is Gleam winners. If we've got nothing else to do, I can announce the Gleam winners.
I don't think there's anything else on our agenda. We can answer more questions, but let's do Gleam first and then wrap it with questions.
Let me find my page again. I just have too many tabs open. There it is. See, so the Discord names of the winners this week were Professor Cedar, Transdomo, Blam 417, Gatsu, and MYZ. And I will tag everybody in an announcement channel in probably right after this AMA.
Yes, congratulations to all the winners. Let's jump into sort of a last round of questions people have.
Just before that, I just want to say I love seeing all the pictures that people posted for the Gleam. That was super cool to see different towns, configurations, the fall theme, some of the fun NFTs in those towns. So thanks for posting those. That was fun.
Last wrap of questions. Polite, thoughtful, and constructive questions.
I saw a really quick one. There was a question about town nodes. Those will still continue to earn in the economy in the future, part of the town distribution. So just wanted to throw that out there as a quick one.
Keep going. Ancient Bombot NFT, is there a place? That's just another one of those things we're going to look at. I love all the bots from the past. We'll just figure out as we go and code it. When Townstar Esports? Not on the agenda right now. But I can tell you, with new and with on Godot and new competitions mode, one of the things, again, we said it so much, we're so excited about being on Godot because then everything we can build will be more secure for players, and it'll allow us to expand and try out all sorts of new things, new competition modes, different types of features, things that we just can't do on Townstar Live. So I'm not saying it'll never happen, but certainly we got way more cool things to do in prep for that if we ever get to it. And we have hotkeys for Townstar. It's interesting. Sure, we just have to code it,
I believe we already did. I believe Ultron already made sure that was.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot.
That was already leaked.
Yes.
I'm sure that was already leaked. If it wasn't already, well, there we go.
Good or bad Easter egg? Volcron's lightning bolt. That's from Volcron. What are you pitching features?
I'm trying to sneak the features in.
I agree with Chief. I think we should have a mysterious boombot. I'm pro that.
Just leave it mysterious.
Yeah, you never know what it's going to help you with, but it will help.
When fun in Townstar, because Townstar is as it is with this competition way and gameplay is unattractive, not fun for all. I'm going to leave that second part aside there and say, a lot of people have fun with it, but look, we're racing as fast as we can to get to the newer, bigger Townstar Forever goal, and that'll have a lot of new features and different gameplay modes. Any other last questions? What are optional, realistic builds for next week? Mal, sounds like you.
Well, it just depends what positioning you go for. I usually tell people if they know they're not going for like really, really high spots, things like blue steel, cakes, decorated cakes, they're all still fairly boosted points compared to the usual points. Or you can just go for stacked boxes and try that one. But as I say, there are other things that are boosted, including Sangria as well. So there's definitely other options if you don't want to do the big meta, and those are some good ones to choose from.
Yugi, saw your question there. Actually, saw you pulling up B-Sharp 28. Production halt button. Utility when restructuring. It halts all production rather than manual shutting everything off. I don't know, what does everybody think about that? Something people want? On that one, I just say, look, if everybody is, super excited about it and it's easy to do, I'll certainly look at it. Yes, look at that. Yes, want. Okay, there, Resource. We have some community feedback for you.
I saw a lot of no's there.
Is there a lot of no's as well?
There were none. There were zero no's.
Okay.
There's a billion yeses. We got one. Gingerbread Man. No. Just kidding. All right. Yeah. All yeses.
So Sinister Grin, BB leaked to us that Vox can pilot spider tanks. What can they do in the next Town Star? Oh, we're still figuring that out.
But they will do something. Something good.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Kind of looks like the questions are winding down. Production halt button starting 1975. Okay. Well, hey, why don't we go up and wrap? This one's gone a little bit longer than we expected. We're going to get back to work on actually making these two different games here. So thank you everybody for time. Thank you everybody on stage. Townstar team members for joining us, and of course, thank you everybody in the community. If you have any remaining questions, just drop them in there. Pharma, Michelle, and Mal will try to get them. Of course, I'll hang out for just a few more minutes, but then we'll get on to the rest of our day. And as always, everything we share, we try to always just share what's real, what's actually coming, like the production monitor on Monday. We try to stay away from speculating. We call that walk the talk. Right? We're just working. It's a large, healthy, and very excited team working on this product for everybody. So thank you everybody for joining us, all of our community. We really appreciate it. And thanks everybody on stage.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Everyone.
Friday.
Bye.
Is anybody going
Indeed.
to sing us out today? Who's singing? I think Ree. I think you signed up for that job.
I'm singing.
Hi. Singing us out.
Goodbye. Farewell.
That's
Not
awesome.
good. My son's over here. He'll sing for you.
I love
We saw
Will's
Mal.
comment. Oh God, run.
I love it. You don't want to hear my singing voice. Not right now or ever. It's way too early for drinking.
For drinking.
Although I'm pretty sure that I would need to be drinking to sing to you, and it would drive you immediately to a bottle if you heard it.
Oh, well.
You know what I love is how quickly Mal jumped out when we started talking about singing. Just jumped right off the
He was
stage.
gone fast.
Fine. Boom. I'm out of here.
He knows that we were going to be the next one we tried to convince, and there was probably zero chance. I do think that for anybody still listening, next AMA, since Mal isn't here, can most of your questions for the first 2 minutes just be requesting him singing? That would really be great for me.
Yeah. I really want to see when singing. That's Mal's new meme.
Can we get the audio team to record Mal singing, and that'll be the holiday music for December? We'll just put it on a loop. It'll be great. What could go wrong?
Mal.
Still here, Mal. You can come back and sing if you want.
He told me he wanted to. He did. He's just shy. We just have to push him a little harder.
They are here. You can come back and sing. Come on, Mal. Anyways, well, hey, thank you everybody for joining us. All the people still here listening. Patty, Coincord, Bullhound. It's good. I always love seeing everybody's icons, as I've mentioned multiple times before. I've got to jump, though. Whoever wants to stay and say goodbye to everybody, please do. But we'll catch everybody later. Oh, no. I think if I can just leave the stage, it'll keep going, right, guys? Yeah?
Maybe,
Let's
but
try it.
probably
I'll
do
try
have
it.
to hop off. Yeah, let's see.
Okay, bye, guys.